Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Rocketeers and Plat ones, or gold ones, or GCs that are actually bronze ones, welcome to the Rocket League Dojo. This has been a while. I'm gonna take a few minutes here before we get in to talking with our guests, but it's been a while since we have one of these. And if you've seen it in my recent updates, I've just been wanting to get back into content creation. So here's one of the first dives. This series used to be a podcast series. I think it's the 11th episode technically. It used to be a series of mechanics and mentalities. And I wanted to ended up just find a way to dive into how pros think about the game. And I wanted to find a way to dive into the mechanics behind the game. But now there's so many tutorials out there that we don't really need many more about those, especially for me. You know, I'm not a pro. I shouldn't be making mechanic tutorials anymore. I'm like, why don't we just focus back on the mentality side of things? So I wanted to reboot the Dojo series because a lot of people asked for it. And this is what you're getting out of it now. So I'm going to dive into pros mentalities specific to them though, because I don't want to just focus on the mentalities we've already done. We've covered a lot before. I want to focus on the players themselves and the things they go through, dive into their mind specifically and how they deal with things. So with that's kind of the new direction that we're going with the podcast. If you guys are joining us on YouTube, make sure you guys check out twitch.tv/LeafX or the Twitter LeafX, LAFX, to find out when we do the next one. You guys can join in as well and ask questions, or just leave comments in the comment section below to find or to say who you'd like to hear on here, who you'd like to see us dive into the mental side with and talk to. And if you are joining us on Twitch, just remember Q&A session at the end. We do have a lot of questions that we've received from Twitter and Reddit as well. There's another avenue to join in on the conversation, but we're just going to focus on talking to our guests today, so we won't be chatting with chat until the end, until the Q&A opens up. So with that, I'd like to introduce and bring in the first guest that we'll be having on the revival of the Rocket League Dojo. And of course, we still have the old graphic set if you are watching this and not just listening. It's Dappur. Dappur, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I don't know if you can hear it on your end, but I got this Zen music going on in the background. It's super chill, super relaxing.
That's the vibe.
Yeah, that's what we're feeling right now. So, Dappur's on the line. He's an OG to Rocket League. He's been in since the beginning. For a long time, he was known as one of the greatest 1v1 players around, and he's just had a good, successful Rocket League career, and he's back. I mean, we've seen his career take some ups and downs, and right now it seems to be on an up. So I want to dive in with you, Dappur, and just briefly off the bat, I want to focus more on you, but let's talk about the team and your player. How you feeling now coming back? You're back into the RLCS. How does that feel to be back in the spotlight?
It feels great. It's been a while, but the difference is compared to last time, it's I feel like I have a lot less pressure. Like the only pressure I have on myself is just like a battle with myself essentially to play at my best. I don't really care anymore what other people think. It's just what I could do for the team and my own performance. So I think that's what's as time went on, how my mindset's changed compared to when I was 17, 18, first competing.
Yeah, so you're feeling I think that's the thing too, is you don't realize this. A lot of these pros, you guys are young, and now it's been years. You're leaving your teenage years, and your brain's developing more, and you're learning new perspectives about life, and you can apply that. So yeah, it's cool to see how some of the players are approaching it. I want to dive into that actually a bit more, and how that perspective has exactly changed, because it seems to be the meta right now that all the best teams are just having fun, having less pressure on them. And I wonder if that's just because they've been doing it for so long, or what it is that's shifting everything. But first, I always like to start with some trivia on our guests here. I always ask for 3 random facts, stuff that's usually irrelevant to anything, doesn't really play anything. But so you sent me one. We were able to get one out of you, and you can see it on the screen if you guys are watching the VOD as well. But I asked the question, where are the siblings at? Because he's Dappur's mentioned to me that he's been essentially an only child. And as someone that has a lot of family and a lot of cousins and a lot of siblings, that's mind blowing to me. So you, I think you have a half brother, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. And I like meet him as well as I think 15 or 16. So, but yeah, I talk to him a lot. He's a Fortnite player, but he's probably like when Project Day comes out, he's probably gonna try and go pro in that. So
yeah.
Yeah, he's a hardcore gamer too.
Wow, that's awesome. So I on that actually, I think that can actually be relevant to your journey, being someone that didn't always have a bunch of siblings around. Do you think that is what helped you, just be into gaming so much and to have the time for that? Was it something that helped you just pass the time growing up, or do you think that's irrelevant to why you played as many games as you did?
Oh, definitely. I really I had board games. I had a ton of board games, which is oddly pretty weird considering I was an only child. But I played a ton of them with my mom, and I was super competitive. And it was to the point where my mom was like, yeah, just let him win so he doesn't get mad. Yeah, so I played with a ton of video games growing up. I was just always competitive, especially when I first started playing Call of Duty. I got to the point where I was sweating in pubs for a super high KD, and then I started playing game battles matches and stuff like that.
So, I came from COD too, so I feel game battles was how I started that too. And looking back though, wouldn't it have been incredible to have that be a bit bigger? I look back to the days I played COD, and I'm I was pretty good back then. Too bad esports wasn't as popping off as it is now, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing with COD at the time, playing game battles, you have to buy in with your own money into those tournaments, and that was a big drawback into fully pursuing that.
No, it's true. The accessibility is so much different now. I mean, especially because a lot of the pros are kids, right? It's unexpected of them to have to pay into it. There are tournaments, of course, you can still pay into, but it's you look at any of the top stuff, it's you don't pay to go to these tournaments anymore. They pay you to go to these tournaments, right?
Definitely. It's a lot nicer now.
Yeah, it's the landscape's just so much more accessible now. With your brother, before we dive into what we were talking about before, with your brother, do you feel I'm assuming that you play with him a lot, and does that help you drive to keep being better as well? Or do you guys play more kind of casually when you play together?
He plays Fortnite, but I dabbled into Fortnite a little bit. I used to be in the pro Discord server way back in the day before it was as big as it is now. And I played playground matches with him. He's pretty nuts, but I don't know, at the time there was a chance to potentially go pro in that game, but it was I'm so far into Rocket League that it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, no, I mean you look at your position right now. Sometimes it's hard to say because it's you look at the rival series and they're oh, that's the lower leagues, but you look at even the rival series to RLCS, these are the top best players in the world, compared to you're so far ahead being in the position, even playing in rival series and now playing RLCS, your skill level is so much above everyone else, but sometimes it's hard to keep that perspective of
yeah, definitely,
how
and
good
especially with it's an FPS, everyone in the world plays FPSs. It's just so hard to be so much better when practically every other person who's a PC gamer plays FPSs, versus Rocket League. It's so different that if you're at the top, then it's gonna take a little while, as long as you maintain it for people to catch up. So
yeah, no, it's actually, there are no transferable skills from any other game into Rocket League. So it's really cool how once you get to the top in Rocket League, it's you kind of have an advantage. But I think as you learned, it's people are hungry and people are fighting to get past that now. And I think we're seeing that whole new generation of so many good players. That the mechanics I don't think it's skill ceiling, but it feels like it's leveling a bit now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot more people be able to do what the pros can do. Obviously that comes down to decision making and stuff. And the people at the top, there's a reason they're there. So the best at those decision making. But let's talk about that journey for you then. So you're at the top, one of the best, one of the top players as well, just in the RLCS. And then obviously the journey took a dip, switching teams and stuff, and you into the rival series. But now you guys are back. Can you just walk me through the journey for you? How it felt? Did you not care, or was it something that was like on your mind? Like, man, this hurts to not be in the top league anymore. What was your vibe? What was your perspective on this journey?
So after season 3, like, yeah, pretty much like season 4 is when it started going like downhill. So we needed a roster change because at the time Mayo said his dad wasn't gonna let him play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we needed someone new. So at the time Timmy wanted to try out Moses, and I was kind of against it, but I was like, well, if Timmy likes Moses, then let's just try him out. So like in my mind, I really didn't want to play Moses, and the one person I thought of that was completely unproven and would have been a wild card that I wish I trusted my gut on, obviously, was Justin.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, yeah, that's some good foresight to be like, yeah, that's a good player.
Yeah, because like I knew like he played a ton with Swishy at the time. And I'm like all the PS4 OGs like knew each other, so like, and this was around the time where all the PS4 OGs were just so familiar with how everyone plays that like we would rather team with like a PS4 OG than any other PC player at the time. Like we were just so familiar with it because we used to play a ton of private matches, just a ton of just ranked in general. Yeah, we honestly felt like we were superior than some of the pros, but that's another topic. But yeah, but anyways, so we tried out Moses. We played against NRG at the time. We played like a super long series. I think we went 9-2 against them, and we did some other scrims. I'm like, yep, this is fine. We could work with it, whatever. And then and I was like, oh well, Moses did better than I thought, so
yeah,
and just went with it going into the season. Then like we had a pretty bad season. I don't know. I felt kind of uncomfortable because Moses like was a lot more hesitant like during the season, like in game, than he was in scrims. So it kind of threw me off, and I just like overall I didn't play that well. I just like wasn't comfortable.
Yeah. So not to interrupt, but what do you do when you have a player like that? Because I'm sure he's not the only one that happened to, or when you're not thinking about it, you can play a lot better. But then when it gets to the moment, someone overthinks a lot. How do you get a teammate that's overthinking, or even yourself, to step back and say, no, it's okay. Like just play how you usually play, and then actually get them to do that? Because I feel like it's a very difficult task to step out of the thinking too much zone.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to like find a way to like make them feel confident. Like the thing is, like this is what I learned like from like messing up like season 4, season 5, getting relegated and stuff like that. It's that you need your teammates to be like confident, like to do whatever they want. Like when you're in scrims, like yeah, they'll mess up, but then also when they do good, you want to like make sure like they know like, oh yeah, this is good, keep doing that. And you need to have a really good team environment in general. So it's pretty nice like because there's some teams that are strictly business, so like they don't really talk to each other like outside of like scrims or competing or whatever, which is, it could be detrimental. Sometimes it's not, just depends on the team.
Yeah
But like if your team environment isn't all that great, and like I don't know, it's just like weird, and also like there's like some things, like some bad habits that destroy team environments. Like for example, this is what I didn't like about teaming with Timmy for a little bit. It's because like he would it was really irritating. Like let's say like I mess up or whatever, he would like sigh like loudly, and he would like stop calming for like a solid like 1 or 2 minutes, and it was like really bad, and it like destroys team morale.
Yeah,
and that's happened like during like season and stuff before. But like what I loved about playing with Miho is like Miho would like, me and Miho like didn't care if team messed up, like okay whatever, it's like 1 goal whatever. But like everyone needs to be on the same page in like every aspect. And like at the time we were just so comfortable with how we played. Like we like barely calmed, like to begin with. We were like known for like barely calming, but
Yeah.
like still being like pretty good. But you know, as time goes on and how like serious the game's gone, you can tell that like it doesn't matter how good you are because everyone's just as good. And, like those
Yeah.
calms matter.
A lot.
So like, yeah. So after season 4, like say like we get sent to like promo relegation tournament. Then like that tournament, I was strictly like my mindset going to that tournament was like, okay, I don't care. I'm just gonna ignore moves. I'm gonna play my best. I don't care. Like if we get relegated, oh well. Then like as long as I could try my best, because like the entire season I played like without confidence, pretty much. Like if I was like confident, like completely ignoring, uh, like how I felt, like how Moses was playing, like I want him to succeed, of course.
Yeah.
But it's also hard to like focus on yourself and a teammate at the same time. So that's what I was thinking going to pro relegation. I just completely ignored him. I like popped off hard. I was like player of the week that week. I had like
Yeah.
I had like a goal per game. I just like just went in, and then yeah, that was about it.
Was
then,
that like a transition period for it? Like, did you take that like heavily like to yourself? Did you step away after the matches a week later, even think like, whoa, that mentality got me that success? Like, did that stick with you, or did you kind of like just forget about that moment and
no, I kind of like left it. It's just I was just like relieved, and then after that I just like was grinding off season, just trying to get better again. Then season 5 comes along, so Miho said he could come back, so obviously picked up Miho again, and then we got CLG, so like everything's going good. And, like before season even starts, we were like doing pretty well in scrims, and also at the time we weren't scrimming as hard as I think around season 4, season 5, like scrims started getting a lot more serious. So like everyone was doing like probably 2 or 3 a day, pretty much what it is now.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. We probably scrimmed, I want to say, no more than 3 times a week, but we scrimmed 2 teams a week. So like we weren't hardcore scrimmers because we were just I don't know. We felt like we had so much chemistry, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so like we go into week 1, we were playing EG. EG at the time is what, Classics, Chrome, and Gabe. So like at the time, if you look at that lineup, like not even like seeing how either teams played, and you just saw individual talent, you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be nasty. But, like this is just we're just gonna run through them. Like it was easy that you could say that we were individually better than all 3 of them. Like easily.
Yeah.
And then but EG, especially like how Chrome's like hardcore. That's why he's a coach now.
Yep.
But
it's one of the best too.
So yeah, like Chrome had a really good like mentality, like just work ethic, and we were just like on a high horse, of course, just like yeah, we're better than them, it'd be fine. And we lose like in game 5, and then we start off the season 0-1, and then like all the things that I thought were problems for our team were like showing. Then let's see. Yeah, so end of the season, last match is G2. Like we like sweep C9 somehow, which is like in that last week.
Yeah.
Swept C9 and then had to play G2. Needed 1 game to not get relegated, or to not get sent to pro relegation zone. And then we didn't get that single game. Week 4 was arguably our easiest week. We had Out of Style and Ghost, but Miho couldn't show up, so we had to play with Hot Wheels Sid, who like barely played. He was our sub. But yeah, we probably gave, without losing Out of Style, we gave Ghost like the best results to not get sent to relegation zone. So like we won against Out of Style barely, 3-2, and then we got swept by Ghost. So that was, I don't know, that was just really extremely annoying, because with Miho we potentially like could have like just swept Out of Style, or like at least gone 3-1.
Yeah.
Or we could have just flat out just beat Ghost. Like, you know, you never know. That's just something
that's really hard, because you get in that mentality then of just thinking, oh, what could have been, right? And it's
there's just
like
a ton of things. Yeah, and just like even taking 1 game literally anywhere else, like not just that GC series, could have kept us safe. And yeah, so yeah, we don't take that game off of G2 at the end. So we're in promo relegation zone again. And so we have 2 weeks between like week 5 and week 5 and like promo tournament. And no one was scrimming, like, cause
really,
like playoffs happened.
Someone's taking a break.
Yeah, everyone's taking a break. So like it was playoffs after week 5. So then there was no one to scrim. And I think there was just RLRS teams I think at the time that were scrimming. So we probably scrimmed only like a handful of times. Like we barely scrimmed in general, which is, you know, part of the downfall. And then, but also like something that hurt was like Miho and Timmy, like going into that tournament, I had like 10 hours each. Like they like barely played. Like I didn't pay attention to it. I had never like thought that was ever like a problem ever. I never paid attention to that. And then like I think like upcoming days, I was just like, I want to play ranked with one of them. Let's see if they're on. And then like I looked at their team profiles and was like, oh god.
Oh,
like,
no.
at like 10 hours each, I'm like on 80 and it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So like, we go into promo relegation tournament. I think we beat Allegiance, like 4-2. I forget. We beat Allegiance round 1, and then we used to FlyQuest 4-2, and then I don't know, that bothered me again. It's like Timmy like tweets out like that's embarrassing as fuck. I'm like, okay, like that, like having a teammate like that type of mentality is, it's like extremely annoying. It's just like,
yeah,
having this like negative energy in the team, just like he's like one of those teammates you hate to mess up with, because you know he's just like irritated. And then
it's hard because like no matter how good you're feeling that day, it almost just kind of puts a roadblock in the way. And it's like, you know, it's like if you're feeling your best that day and you have no roadblocks, you can just pop off. But then there's that one roadblock, it slows you down just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know, like something changed like from first teaming with them to like then, because I don't know, like I just felt like he just had like this massive ego or whatever, that he was like better than everyone, and like if anything like doesn't go his way, it's just like, I don't know, just destroys the team environment. And that's why now like you see it more like in EU and stuff, or like not even EU in general, but just like in teams in general, like you'll see roster changes and you're just like, why? And it's internal. Like a good amount of the roster changes that's happened in this game are like mostly just internal problems because of people like that are just like a bad energy towards the team. And like especially like teaming with Shock and Seth now, we've been down in series, like, or down in a game multiple times, and I feel like we've came back and won so many games, like so many more games than I have like the entire like 3 seasons I've like played with Mia and Tim, just cause of like, oh, we're still in the game, we still got this, like stuff like that. Like we started off our RLRS season, we were down 0-2 to Chaos, reverse swept, and like our promotion game to get into RLCS, we started off down 0-2, and then won 4 straight and made it in. And like stuff like that matters. Like your overall team mentality like needs to all be on the same page, because like one person just being like tilted just could just potentially destroy like everything, like all your chances, just because like they're mad or whatever, even though there's still like a whole like game left to play.
So on that note, I have actually like a million questions I want to ask, but I'm gonna keep it back to after the getting relegated, because then you subbed for a season, correct?
Yeah. So we got relegated. We kicked Timmy, and then we were trying out thirds for like quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, we hadn't decided on anyone yet, but like probably days before roster lock, Miho just said he was gonna sub for G2, so I was just like, oh, well, I guess I don't have a team, so I just subbed that season.
So it was
like we just gave up. We just gave up that RLRS spot.
Yeah. So it wasn't a choice thing. So what is it as a player that's like, you know, again, you're in the RLCS for most of your season, and then all of a sudden you're in the Rival Series. This is a situation, and all of a sudden, the last minute, you don't even have a team, and you're not even playing. You're subbing. Does that hit you at all? Like, does it, like, what was going through your head? Did you ever get to a point where like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'm gonna use this motivation to keep finding another team and keep playing, like, or use it as a chance to take a break and look at my life. Like, what goes through your head in a moment like that where it kind of seems like everything just disappeared?
Yeah. I don't know. I just looked at it. I was like, I don't know. I guess I was just extremely unlucky. I just subbed. I wasn't like guaranteed a spot to like start on Splice like whatsoever. So like I had no shots at them, at all. So, uh, they had there's like a 2 weeks or something. They had to do something with the org. So they weren't they weren't home to like scrim or anything before the RLRS season started. So Karma said that she doesn't want to risk trying me out only like the week before the season starts.
Yeah.
And then like for it to be worse than with Nosy, obviously because like team chemistry and stuff. So which made sense. Like I wasn't arguing. I wasn't like asking for a starting spot at all.
Spot. Yeah.
No, yeah, I was just like, okay, cool. I was just like glad to like be a part of something because like I did replay review with them. I like subbed in whenever someone was like couldn't make it to scrim. So like I was glad to be part of like a team environment. I didn't mind it. They offered to sign me, but I didn't want to sign. Like in case like I get offered an RLCS spot, so like, it wouldn't cause like drama, like with money and stuff. So yeah. So so I had an off season of just pretty much just working on myself, just played a lot of 6-mans. I don't know. I was just confident in myself that I should be playing at least RS or LCS, but I was just aiming high, just stay confident because I don't know, like you gotta like when you have confidence that like you're good enough, you have that kind of an ego about it.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Like, I'm just looking at like some of the people in RLCS. I'm like if he's in RLCS, there's no reason I shouldn't be in RLCS. Like that was my mindset, like going into like just thinking about it. It's like the only like I was thinking myself because I was also like pretty mad during all that all that time, of course. So I was thinking like the only reason like some of these people are in RLCS is because like they all like all their teammates like care and they all like want it, and like having two teammates that just had like barely played when their like career and their salary, like their org is like on the line, and like just didn't care. It was just extremely like annoying.
Yeah.
And like don't get me wrong though, like season 5 is like easily like my worst season of RLCS I've ever played. I played terrible. I was like bottom 4 in stats. But like I don't know, I didn't feel like encouraged to get better. I don't know, like we never like talked over like what to do to get better and stuff. And it's just there's a lot of things that like a team should do that we didn't do. So it's a mix of both like us and or me and like the teams.
Yeah. Being in that situation then, so if there's other teams that are up and coming and they're trying to get into the rival series, or they're in there now, but they're kind of one of the teams are expected to be at the bottom, and they come across this roadblock. Say you come across a team that you don't have synergy with, or there's a player. How do you address that? Is it just kind of like hope it goes away, or is there like how do you make sure that you're not the problem and it is teammates holding back? Because we all in Rocket League, we all like to blame our teammates. We all like to say it's someone else's fault. But how do you step back and make sure like maintain a bit of that, as you mentioned, ego, and say no, I am really good and I belong here, and that you're not actually the problem? Like, did it ever cross your mind that maybe you're the problem, or you're just like, no, objectively I can see that I belong in this spot?
I don't know. It was hard because it's not like as a team we made like a complete effort to like do our best and everything, like as I said, like throughout the season. But it's also like I don't know, I'm playing like rank as 6-mans. Like I haven't gotten kicked out of rank as 6-mans.
Yeah.
Like obviously I somewhat belong. I deserve to belong here because they'll kick you out if you're not good enough, really. So I don't know. I looked at stats and I kind of like went over like replays and like I don't know. It was like hard to say. Like honestly, it's like hard to say if it's just me or if it's
That's true.
If it was my team. So I was just like, I just kind of ignored it, and I was like, I think I'm good enough, like regardless. So I just kept on grinding.
You kept the fight.
Yeah, I wanted to like, I wanted something to happen, So like that would tell me like for sure like you're not good enough anymore, just stop. So
Yeah.
that's why I just kept on going.
I think that's, to me at least, something like, and I hope other people feel that way when they hear this too. Like that's incredibly motivating to hear someone like to see what you had to go through, missing a season and like, and then coming back now back into the RLCS, and feeling good about it. Like it's so motivating to just hear like, no, I just had to keep the fight. I had to not stop. I had to drive. I looked at stats. I put in the work. I looked at replays. And I just kept at it. I made sure I was never taking. What I'm getting out of this is you're like, I never took a moment to sit back and just get complacent. It kept fighting. That's what I'm seeing from your perspective right now. And I think that's cool that you did make it back, because it shows that if you're putting in that work and you don't lose that motivation, you keep fighting, then you can get success out of it. So I think it's a really cool story to hear there. Now, did you ever get to a moment where you did lose kind of any motivation or feel like the motivation was wavering? And if so, how did you combat it?
Yeah, definitely. So let's see. After subbing for Splice, like the following season, let's see, I had 2 tryouts from 2 different RLCS teams. One of them I was like trying out with them for, I want to say a solid like 2 months at least.
Oh wow, okay.
And then I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna name like names or anything or teams. But I was trying out with them for like a solid 2 months. Then they tried out someone else, and after like a couple scrims, like within that week, they like decided on him. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then another team I tried out with, we scrimmed Bread at the time. We like went 5-2 against them, and I definitely played really well, because like they were telling me like, oh yep, you're definitely carrying right now. I'm like, cool. And then I don't know, like after that scrim, like that was the only scrim. We, like went 5-2 against Bread at the time, and then nothing. Like I never got a call back, never like got a reason as to why I didn't get that spot. So like that was about it. And then so after I got done like scrimming with one of the teams, after I found out like the year's gonna go on with whoever, pretty much all the teams are set for like RS and RLCS. So I was just looking for whoever. I'm not the type of person that like want to go up to teams and tell them to like replace someone for me. Like, so yeah, I ended up teaming with like Savvy and Bork, because I thought they were like a nuts like 2v2 duo. So yeah, so I tried to team with them for RS and then didn't make it. And then I don't know, honestly, after that, I feel like most people after like not making it to RS, like you just quit after that.
Well,
I don't know, for whatever. Yeah, definitely. So like for whatever reason, I just gave it one more season, and then I ended up like getting unlucky with Shock and Sath. So
that's good. So it's just like, okay, one more. I'm not giving up one more, because so many people are just like, I think this can actually translate really well into an individual game too. When you get a teammate that's like, you get scored on and they forfeit right away, it's like, you know what, just give it one more, guys, one more, and then suddenly you can come back. But on the grander scale, the macro scale, I guess it works with the RS and RLCS too. It's like, all right, if you got a team out there, just try one more time. I'm glad you did, because look at where you're at now. You're back at the top.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I still think I'm kind of crazy for trying for as long as I did. It's like a solid. I think I missed 3 seasons, so we're in 9 right now.
We're in 9 now.
Or
Yeah.
8. Yeah, so missed 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, it's like that's why I got you on, because I'm like, this is it's a journey that we've seen so many players take, but they don't come back. Like we've seen a lot of players from the good old early days of RLCS and Rocket League disappear. All right, like you look at the new people that we got in, it's all just new players that we didn't. Maybe they've been around too for a while, but like a lot of the OGs are gone.
Yeah,
but you're
definitely.
back. And that's why I wanted to hear that journey. So just a reminder, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you can join in on twitch.tv/LeafX, or just go to twitter.com/LeafX to find out when these are going to be and who we're going to have next. But we're talking to Dappur right now, and if you do have any comments on it on YouTube, make sure you just drop some comments down in the comment section below. And if you are watching on Twitch, we'll have a Q&A at the end. We got some Reddit questions and Twitter questions once we're done our main discussion. He's mine right now. I'm being greedy. You guys don't get a turn until the end. But you can make sure you save your questions, and then we will get to those at the end if you're joining live. So that's the perk of joining live. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, enjoy it. Have fun. So for me, it's like we've been through it, and I was going to even just ask, did you ever think of quitting? But I feel like you almost covered it a bit there, Dapper, when you're like, okay, just one more. And that feels like that verge of quitting mentality. Like, okay, I got to stop after this one.
I think also a big thing was timing, because like that season I didn't make RS. It was also like I was going to have a summer. So I was like, well, might as well. Because if I like the season I didn't make it was going into the new year instead of going into summer, I probably would have just stopped. I would just like gone back to like full-time school.
That's crazy.
Just, like, yeah,
it's crazy to think right now, just that like that this whole story could just like not be there, because I think the dynamic, especially with your new team now with Sonics, is like all around an incredible story, because it's like you look at someone like Shock that was kicked from his team, had to fight again. Sathu again, same thing, and then you that was as you're saying right now, maybe not even going to come back and play again, and now all three of you guys are back. And just to kind of like I guess finish off that journey that you went through, what was like, how does it feel now? Does it feel vindicating? Like, does it feel like you guys, did you realize that redemption story for all three of you to get back was there? And how does everyone feel now that you're all kind of sort of in that same situation where like we're back now?
Oh yeah, we're all like extremely happy like to be back, but like it's one thing to be back, but then like it's another to like be at the top or be like to prove yourself to everyone. So right now we're like in that phase of just having to prove ourselves to everyone again. It's like everything reset. Like to me, I don't know, I completely ignored like going into this RLCS season. I just completely ignored seasons 3 to 5. I just felt like I was a rookie as well, and just like this is all new to me. So
okay.
I just like, completely ignore my past. Just start off with like a fresh slate to me.
That's actually a different, interesting approach, is to just be like, you know what? Forget my history. I'm coming in this. What is this? Wow, this is wonderful. RLCS, cool. First time here. Never seen it before. Because I think what's good is what you're doing is you're getting rid of any of the expectations for yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
By saying like, okay, well, here, like, let's look at worst case. We get 10th spot and we're auto relegated. Well, cool. It was our first time. We'll try again next, and you can reset that. Okay, one more season, right? Like because if you think back and you're like, well, I already did the one more season thing. This is the second time I'm trying. It might be more, harder to look at it, but when you're clean slating, you're like, all right, let's do it one more time, and get back, and then you might climb.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of expectations, I want to talk about other people's expectations, because obviously, we've watched the first week go on. You guys played well. It was very close for your first match. I got to say as well that you guys played incredible. And if you guys haven't seen it, make sure, again, if you're watching on YouTube, go watch the VODs for RLCS Season 9. RLCS is always hype. But, we've seen what you guys can do now, and there's expectations there. There's past it, because even though you've forgotten about your past, doesn't mean other people have, right? And so people know what you've done, what you've been capable of. Those expectations, is it hard to block those out? Is it hard to ignore other people? And do they hinder you, or do they maybe actually help you and motivate to be like, yeah, people still remember me as this, this OG? Like, how did those other people's expectations affect you?
Yeah, like, I don't know, I've always felt like, especially like during like the lowest of lows, that like everyone just thought I was like done, just washed and stuff. So like coming in like this season, like it's really nice. Like in my opinion, everyone expects us to be like just fucking dog shit. And just like literally get 10th. I'm like, cool, man. So like any win is an upset, and then any loss is like, oh, we should. So that's like a plus for me, which I like. It also just relieves stress from myself, but I'm always stressing myself out about playing well, of course. But I don't know. Coming back, it's just like everyone just thought I was like lost and like terrible and stuff. But like whenever I do anything good, it's just like, yep, you should be doing that because you're like, a top player at one point. So it's mainly on the in my opinion, like my eyes, like the negatives have always outweighed the positives, except when it comes to like the people who've like always been supporting me like in my stream and stuff.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so I just ignored everyone's expectations, just working my way back up to like gain respect. So like right now, like I feel like I just have like I'm in RLCS again, but like it's still like, yeah, you're only here because they added 2 more spots or something. So it's just like I'm working my way back up and just gaining respect again, just starting from the bottom, especially as I said earlier.
It's just so funny because like obviously the song goes from my head, started from the bottom, now we're here, but it's like in my mind I'm like, well, you didn't start from the bottom, you were always one of the best. But it's so cool to hear how you're approaching this. Like, nah, man, I'm the underdog. Our team's coming in with the first time. We're gonna show people what's up and what we can do. Now, how do you block that? Obviously, it seems like you're doing a good job of just curbing your own expectations, curbing other people's expectations away from your mind. Like you're able to just keep that blocked out. How do you like? I just want to talk about some techniques because obviously, to you it's sounding like you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna ignore it. But for some people, that's not easy to do. They'll be playing, and even for a split second, they're gonna think, oh, I didn't get a good touch on that ball or missed that ball. Everyone's watching, and now they think I'm crap. What are they gonna think about? And it goes to your head, and now you're playing like crap for the rest of the game. So like, what are you doing in your mind, or is it just maybe it's just natural? Who knows? Maybe. But what are you doing in your mind to be able to block those things out? And if they do creep in, how do you make sure that you get back in your zone and focus? Like, do you have any techniques that you do to keep yourself in that zone and in your own world?
Like when I'm playing, it's just like I just think about. I've pretty much gotten used to like playing on stream, I'd say, but it doesn't like help the fact that I still get nervous because like, oh, there's something like big on the line. So
yeah.
I mean, most RLCS players in general, okay, compared to scrims, like, don't play. I don't want to say anywhere close, but they don't play to like up to their scrim play style. So that's why like some teams that are projected to do better end up doing worse, or some teams that do worse do better. So it's just when you're in the game, or when I'm in the game, I'm just thinking like for my teammates, just make sure all the comms are up. Just ignore any mistakes. Just play the game. Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple, stupid.
Now on that dynamic, so we just talked about Dappur's entire like journey that he's been through, from the top, falling and now back up, and how he's dealt with it mentally. So we've kind of seen the whole journey now and gotten your perspective. I want to talk about your team dynamic right now with Shock and Sathu. Do you guys ever talk to each other about your own goals too? Like, what's the dynamic like when it comes to just being in scrims, or even just hanging out beforehand, afterwards, and saying, hey, this is how I'm approaching this season, and this is my expectation? Or is that something you guys never really approached, or are you aware of each other's kind of situations and expectations?
Oh no, we all agreed like before this season even started, like this season is just about staying in the league, so we could get like more than just like, especially this off season. This off season was extremely short, so we didn't have as much time to play every single RCS team as much as like other newly promoted teams. So to us, this season was just about staying in the league, and anything better than 7th place is just extra. Then after that, like the following seasons, when we actually make a huge push.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool to hear just how you're able to merge your, have your own goals and then also have them line up. So I think that's incredibly important. That's something we're seeing too, especially with top teams in the RLCS, like NRG and Vitality. These guys are doing everything they can to make sure that, I think, the synergy and goals are all kind of lined up. For NRG, it seems to be a fun, joking atmosphere with incredibly consistent players. Vitality, it's like, okay, well, I guess we're all French now, and we're also all mechanically insane. But so for you guys, is beyond that, is there a mission statement? Is there something that you guys feel like you excel at, even if it's something that we don't see on the screen, behind the scenes, where like, oh, we're all jokesters, we're all know how to like really well, better than others. What is it something that you, like behind the scenes, we don't get to see, that you guys can say you pride yourself, or have you even given any thought to that?
We definitely have. We're really good at like even playing from behind. Compared to like my old teams, like I've always felt confident, even like when I'm down. Usually, like back then, I used to get disappointed when we're already down, and I just start playing worse. But that's definitely one thing. Another thing, we have like some inside jokes when it comes to like certain situations in the game, and like especially like during series, like that situation happens, we're just screaming as inside joke, and we're just like laughing. It's pretty funny.
That's good. Yeah, I got a smile on right now thinking about it. I guess, can we get one, or are those gonna remain secret?
No, we have like it'll be an open net, and then everyone just calms. We like scream like it's open for years, and then like we miss it, and then it was like, oh shit, and then yeah, it's just really bad.
Open for years. I'm gonna see if I can pass it on, because if you guys get an open net, I want the commentator to yell out,
Oh,
"Hey
no.
guys, it's open for years."
Oh no.
That'd be super fun. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm getting to the end of a lot of my questions. I mean, I could keep this going forever, but I do want to give you some time of your own. I don't want to take up all your time. So what I'm gonna do right now is while I ask him some of the questions that I've gotten off of Reddit, we're gonna open it up to Q&A for you guys. So if you guys join us on Twitch, make sure just do @LeafX just so I can see it, and then the question you want, whether it's directed at me or at Dappur. Hopefully just Dappur right now. Who cares about me? You guys can see my own streams other times, ask me questions then. But so feel free, if you guys have asked questions. I've seen some been passed through in the chat just throughout this podcast. But if you want to just redo it, @LeafX me, just so I know you want to ask that question still and it hasn't been covered. We're gonna dive into some Q&A. So Dappur, we got some questions online. We're going to dive into Q&A.
Yes, sir.
So first off, before we get to the section, just thanks for giving me that journey that you went through, and now you're back. Congratulations. I'll get some final words after this all too. But I think it's really motivating to hear, just the mindset that you held through all of this. It's really cool, because sometimes you may not realize like what you're doing is different than how other people react to it. You're like, oh, this is the norm, right? Like this is what anybody would do.
Yeah.
All right, let's open up some questions here. We're gonna go to Twitter first, and I'm sure you've gotten this one a lot, so that's what I'm just gonna get out of the way, because I actually did have a few people ask. Roots from Reddit and then Abdullah Shakur asked this question. How was your 1v1 ability helped it with success in RLCS and RLRS? And I'm gonna also add onto that and extend that. Do you feel like that you being one of the best 1v1 players is an outdated thing now at this point?
Yeah, I definitely think it's outdated. Like I still have like those abilities, but I definitely don't. I don't take advantage of it anymore because of how much better everyone's gotten. It's just on those rare occasions, like I know my options. Like I know like what I could possibly do in a 1v1 situation. Like especially when it's like someone I consider to be a weak 1v1 player is in net.
Yeah.
And I just like I just have like compared to other players who probably don't play like ones that much, I feel like they'd probably throw away the ball a lot more often. So there's just like nowadays it's just like one little thing that could definitely help win a game.
Mm-hmm. So it's still possible that that those skills come through, but
yeah, but now it's like you can't rely on them anymore. Like back then, if you're a top 1v1 player, you're essentially just a pro player. But now it's nah. Like now, like ones, like all the top players that are ones mains now, or I mean, all the top ones players, like the ones you see on Johnny Boy stream a lot, like I'm trying to think, mainly in NA, like they don't translate in the threes, like if at all. But, yeah.
Just on that, how come?
Like ones has gone so deep and like
its own direction. Yeah.
yeah, one's is so deep in its own direction now that it does like the way your way of thinking in one's is like compared to back then, it's completely different to how it'd be advantageous like what 2017, 2018, or early 2018. That like now like you'll just dig yourself in a hole if you're a one's main, like playing consistently like only once.
All right, so our next question is Bop the Pop. We kind of covered this, so unless there's something else we can pass over. But he says to Dapper, what are your favorite things about playing with your teammates? I'd have to say the fact that Shock is a beast.
Nah, that's facts. Dude, no, the one thing, okay, like Shock, like, it'll be like a hard backward read, right?
Yeah.
And then Shock would be like, I'm going up, but this is hard. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you can call this is hard, but like, watch, I guarantee you're gonna hit it. Like, I'm ready for you to miss it. I'm ready, but like, you're gonna hit it. Watch, and then like, literally 95% of the time, yep, he hits it anyway.
I wonder if that fits into the mentality thing of like just like like you're what you're doing is you're having zero expectation at the point because you're saying, hey, I have this hard thing I'm gonna do. I'm probably not gonna do it. So now you can be relaxed about it.
No, yeah, like I expect it. It doesn't like stress me out. Like he said, like, oh, it's hard. Like, okay, yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Got you. But then he hits it anyway. I'm like, oh, cool. And I don't know. It's just something that's funny to me.
So this next one comes from Reddit. It's a Dianosaur, and this is an interesting question too because it like you could look at your on paper your achievements, but maybe a difference to what's important to you. But he says, what has been the peak of your career so far? So for you, is it maybe it's like a mental thing? Maybe it's a roadblock you overcame, or maybe it is just on paper how far you've made it.
It's probably right now. Like just like my team, really happy with my team. Just like I'm excited to play like with my team. I just like they have the exact same like mentality I have when it comes to like how seriously they take this game, which is refreshing to me. And like I don't like have to worry about them like playing and grinding because we're in a team house. Like I see them on their grind, so it's something like it's nice to like know like I could just focus only on myself, like getting better, stuff like that. And we're all like easily we take criticism very well, so
that's good.
Yeah.
Another one from Reddit before we get to our Twitch questions. Remember, if you're watching on Twitch, you get the better experience because you can join in on the conversation just at LeafX in your question. But this other one's from Reddit. Superior Cuss asks on a more, I guess, he says something about it almost seems mechanic, but he says, what is your hardest mental aspect to learn overcome, and how'd you do it? I'm currently champ 3 and I'm struggling with player awareness quite a bit.
Wait, sorry, can you do that one more time?
Yeah, of course. So he's just asking, what was your hardest mental aspect to learn / overcome, and how did you do it? He's currently champ 3 and he's struggling with player awareness, so I'm assuming just understanding where his teammates are and how to focus on those. But what for you was maybe the hardest thing to overcome?
Definitely I think it's trusting my teammates.
Okay.
Like I played a ton of 6-mans, like so coming off of like season 5. So like after season 5 I pretty much stopped playing ones like as much as I did. I play like nowhere near as many ones games as I did back then. And I played a ton of 3s. Like I queued only standard and I played 6-mans. And I realized that like just as like when I played ones, I memorized situations and I memorized like outcomes and possibilities, and it just became second nature to me. So when I started playing 3s, there were certain things I learned were constantly good to do, like no matter the situation. Like you memorize certain things you could do that would always be safe and like stuff like that. So when it comes to like player, like your awareness for your team, it also depends. Are you playing like by yourself or you're playing with a team? But a general thing you could do is to divide the long way of the field into 3s and to essentially be in one zone at a time while also being in a triangle compared to like where your teammates are. and that could definitely help. Or and also just uh look at replays and look at your teammates' point of views.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people forget to do. I mean, replay analysis is huge. You know, you gotta look at yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we're gonna jump over to Twitch and get some questions from you guys. First off, Sis Swans says, "Hey Dapper, miss you, man." And he put another one, so I'll just go to his. He says, "Hey Dapper, I'm happy to see you in full swing. I was watching highlights and I saw your name and I had to do a double take. I'm glad to see you in RLCS. Just wanted to ask if there was a team you'd want to play in the final of RLCS, as in a team that even if you lose, you had fun and had a good match."
If we were to get like better and actually like be able to play against them well, I'd probably say G2 because I think G2 has the most like well coordinated and like best play styles in Rocket League. Like they're the only team we struggle with against in scrims. Like we actually like don't come close to beating them. It's like we take like 2 or 3 games off in scrims and we're just happy about that. Like they play such insane Rocket League and they're I don't know. It just looks like if I had to pick a team that plays perfect Rocket League, I think G2 plays like nearly perfect Rocket League.
I mean, you even look back. I mean, like to season. Sorry, 7. Yeah, season 7. That was Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have so many seasons now. Even I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I know.
But no, yeah, it was like G2 was. I even talking to all the other teams is like everyone's like, no, G2 is literally the best team in the world.
Oh yeah, it's just amazing to me that they haven't won anything yet, like something big.
Yeah.
And I think they just play such like amazing Rocket League. They always find each other. They know what to do in every single situation, and just like how to cover for each other. It's just it just annoys me that they haven't won anything. It really does.
I think that's the next. I mean, what's really cool about Rocket League is like there's always somehow seems to be a story that we can cheer for, right? I mean, like seeing if Dignitas could get that many wins in a row. Will NRG finally get one? They got one. You know, C9 just absolutely styling on Dignitas to end that run, you know, and now maybe the next big story is going to be, can G2 get one, you know?
Yeah, G2. I love how they play. It's like what I want our playstyle to be eventually at some point. So
that's awesome. All right, let's jump back to our Twitch and check some questions here. Han streams, I think this one's for me. He says, "Don't think I forgot about your promise to bring me in for episode 420. Okay, well, we're a long way off because we're only on technically I think 11 right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we got a ways to go. Maybe we'll have to bring Dapper back for a bunch. All right, Trev in Twitch asks, I'd like to ask him, how have you adapted your playstyle through the early seasons up to now?
Definitely. I don't know. I used to just be offensive heavy. Like all I wanted to do is play offense. Now I play everything. I don't know. I pretty much I don't necessarily goal score anymore. I definitely just am a part of the goal. Like RS, yeah, RS season I was #1 assist per game and #1 goal participation. So like I always definitely want to be a part of the offense, regardless if it's just passing or doing whatever. But I definitely have like my defense has gotten a lot better in my opinion. But yeah, I definitely like to do like now I definitely like to do a bit of everything compared to just being so offensive heavy.
Yeah, it's also interesting to also see where the metas have gone too, right? And it's like I remember back season 3 I think is when the or season 2 to season 3 was when the backboard like double taps, basically the Weedham girls play style kind of dominated. Yeah. Then everyone got good at backboard defense, so you couldn't do that, so it turned into infield passing plays, and then everyone got good at reading those passing plays, so I feel like it turned into like faith-based passing plays where you'd like pass without even seeing your teammate.
Yeah.
And then that I feel like that one was the hardest, probably because you're just like, well, I'm just gonna throw it there and hope I'm either getting good comms or my teammate's there.
Yeah.
And then uh, after that, it seemed to switch to um, like like a Justin would just like you just let him have the ball, and then he
Yeah,
would
one
plow through
person.
two people.
Yeah, then just play cleanup essentially.
Yeah, so that seemed to be like the big thing, and then obviously, so I actually think one of the metas, and I always say I think one of the metas was having fun. I think that's a thing recently teams are getting into, and you see those teams are the ones that starting to play really good.
Yeah, definitely. It's more like I feel like some of the nuttier teams, like they have like a super insane like offensive duo that's nutty, and then like they just have fun with it, and the third guy comes in, and then
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'll score for you, or oh, I'll stall for you, and then like the other two rotate back in. I don't know, those teams are like Space Station is one of them in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like Arsenal Sip just do whatever, XP like cleans up on occasion,
Yeah.
or like just covers, and it's just yeah, those are the teams that definitely have fun
And then
because they just trust each other to do whatever.
and then we also have the demo meta creeping in there too.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
own question before I get back to the Twitch questions: how long do you think that's going to last? Because I always felt like a lot of the reason the demos were working was because people were getting so good at clearing the ball that it was in the air a lot, and you just didn't see someone coming at you. Um, but like, I feel like it's just eventually gonna shift back where like people are still gonna go for demos, but like I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't gonna last forever. And do you feel differently about that, or do you think that that meta's gonna kind of stay?
Uh, it's hard to say. Everyone's gotten so good that like now, if there legitimately is three people alive on defense, like they're not scoring. Like they're just
Yeah,
throwing out the
yeah.
window. So yeah, I definitely think it's not entirely going to be a meta, but it's going to be more about like that's just how certain teams' play styles are. They'll just run through the net,
Mm-hmm.
and then but running through the net is just so it's just so effective because you run through the net. Oh, you didn't kill any of them, but you get their opposite corner boost, and then like they're missing a boost. Then someone shoots a shot on net, and then that person gets the other corner, and then now they're trapped. And then let's say they're a low boost, then you demo one of them. There's a smoke. You shoot while the smoke's up, and then it's probably a goal. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's just so effective that I think it'll be here to stay for a little bit. Or I don't know. I think this might be like here for a while, just how good people do it. Because infield passing now, certain teams, I mean, not certain teams, but most teams have someone sitting in the middle constantly.
Yeah.
And like that person's usually just a floater, sits in mid with like effective amount of boost. And it's hard to infield pass, honestly. If you're infield passing, it's only like the first two people on offense that are shooting it, and the third man just waits.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm pretty sure Cloud9 like season 4 when they started infield passing, they passed it to everyone. Like they did not care. But like one thing we noticed is that like when we started like trying to infield pass like in our scrims, like you cannot pass to the third man because it's a third man. If someone's sitting in the middle and that third man gets beat or it's like a bad 50, you're gonna get
Yeah.
scored on.
It's over.
So like that's why right now I feel like infield passing is kind of dying in a way, and that's why like demos like having one person do whatever and then
Yeah.
go for a demo, then you have like a 3v2 or 2v2 is a lot safer while still keeping your speed up. So it'll probably stay around for a little bit, quite a bit.
So this one's fun. It's not even having anything to do with Rocket League. The King, as he said, this one is for both of you. Do you like electronic music?
Like EDM.
Yeah.
Depends. Oh, not depends. Like I do, but it depends on the genre. Like I like.
Yeah.
I'm not good. Idea. I'd say like future bass and like melodic dubstep. It's like the artists I listen to are like Elenium Said the Sky, like Dabin, like stuff like that. It's mainly like the if you're into the EDM scene, it's like the quote unquote sad boy artists.
Okay.
But yeah, and like there's like some future bass and like DNB stuff. Like I used to listen to a ton of Faint when I used to play like 1v1 tournaments because it'd just be like high paced, like just drum and bass music and just get you going.
Okay.
And it's like one more artist. I think they're It's called. I forget what his name is, but yeah, stuff like that is like the type of EDM I'm into.
I mean, I kind of feel you on that. It's like, so I listen to everything. I go from metal to EDM to classical, but it's like, when I'm playing Rocket League, sometimes yeah, it's good to have that just something high BPM, high energy that blasts
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
But
When I used to play like 1v1 tournaments, just like I'd just be ball chasing in this high speed
yeah,
constantly. I have all the boost in the world. I'm going for this, banging the ball in the net. And yeah,
just
got me
fast.
going.
Yeah, I feel like the music definitely does have an effect on it, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
and it's like for me, chill step has always been one of my favorite genres. On the opposite end of things, is like being able to listen to something that can actually chill me down, make me take some time and think. Usually,
Yeah.
I don't listen to that while I'm playing Rocket League, but like I do like that kind of EDM as well. But all right, what's this one? Neely says this is actually a really interesting question. What do you do if you don't notice yourself making any mistakes in your replays, even though you lose the game?
It's either you watch your teammates or you get another person's opinion on it, because like it's definitely easy to be biased on like watching yourself, because like no matter what, everyone thinks like they're the perfect player regardless, and like they understand why they're doing it. But yeah, definitely that's why like you need a coach or someone else's opinion as to why that's bad or good, or why you could have done something better.
All right, we got a couple more questions. Then I'm gonna let you go because I know you got some stuff to get to. I've already kept you for a bit of time here. We'll just get these couple other ones out. What is the best training? Czar says, what is the best training pack for console player to use for wall reads?
Ooh, I don't know any training packs for console. I thought they were all
I thought
usable.
they were crossplay.
Yeah, I thought they were crossplay. Hold on, I have a Google Doc. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, look at that! Look at this, man. If you guys are on Twitch right now, you're getting good. You're getting the good stuff right now. And this is why, if you're on YouTube, you should definitely head on over to twitch.tv/LeafX to join on this, because you're missing the good stuff.
Go in this Google Doc and then hit all sequences at the top, and then it's just a massive list of. You'll probably find something in there for wall reads, I'd assume, because there's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, Dappur with the hookup. Next question is Nathan H1223 says, have you ever been recognized IRL? And that's not in Rocket League, that's in real life.
The one time I got recognized was I was at, I don't know what the park's called, but it's in Chicago. It's where the Bean is.
Okay, yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
I was with Dazzern, and some guy recognized me, like tapping on the shoulder. He's like, "Are you Dappur?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Wait, why are you here?" I was like, "Oh, it's like, is this for NBC 2BT, like the regional?"
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I just took a picture with him. That's about it. Other than that, it's just like all at Rocket League events. So.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. I was at a Phoenix Suns game, like when I was at GCU, and this guy I was sitting next to, he sat next to me the entire game. It was me, my roommate, and then these two other guys, and the guy next to me knew me, but he didn't say anything until the very end of the game, like when we were about to leave. He's like, "Excuse me, are you Dappur?" I'm like, yeah. Like, "Oh, cool, nice to meet you." It's like he didn't say anything the entire game. He just chilling next to me. I'm like, wow.
That's great. Maybe he's waiting for you to like pick your nose so you got some embarrassing moment on you. That's cool though. Honestly, like again, you go back to the ego thing. It's like sometimes you like to feel that, and it's like that feels good when someone you're like, wow, people know.
Yeah, it's still weird to me, like outside of like Rocket League events. So.
I guess because you're like, well, I play video games in my room, and somehow this guy outside knows me. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's really cool. Okay, we're gonna let him go, but we're gonna get one final question. We'll see if he can solve the problems that are going on with Cloud9. What's going wrong with Cloud9 right now? Says Hexia.
I feel like their playstyle just hasn't adapted, or it just hasn't changed. Like everyone's gotten better, and it's like I'm not saying they're bad now. It's just like they haven't pushed their playstyle, or they just haven't changed it. Because now I feel like everyone sits in the middle. Everyone's expecting them to pass. Like they're just too readable now. Because everyone's played them. Everyone's watched them. They've been a team since what? They've been a team for like 2.5 years, like almost. Probably longer. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years now.
Yeah, they've been a team forever. Everyone knows what to expect. Everyone knows how they play. They've won what they've won 5 majors, or well, one of them being a 2v2. But other than that,
Like since they were the Muffin Men as well.
everyone's seen how they play, so they have an idea of what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even some teams replicate it, but I don't know. Like they wanted Hoxer, so obviously, from what I've heard, like they wanted Hoxer because they wanted someone who's a lot more aggressive, and they wanted like I think they just want to be more offensive heavy, and yeah, I don't know. I think they just wanted to change their playstyle, and they just I don't know. I guess Torment doesn't want to play that type of playstyle, but that's probably why they're just sticking to what they know, and it's like hurting them.
All right, so I think what we're gonna do is call it on this episode. This has been the Rocket League Dojo. I'm in Brody Leaf Exmore hosting this. That's the voice you heard here, and the other voice has been Dappur. It's been a blast to get back into this. As I said at the beginning of this episode, that I want to take a new approach and actually just sit down, talk with some of the pros, have fun, but dive into their journeys and what they've been through. And we did that today with Dappur. He talked about his journey. And if you are joining on Twitch, I want to say thank you for participating in the Q&A at the end. And if you're joining on YouTube, appreciate you guys watching this. We are working on getting it onto Spotify, Apple Music, to be able to have podcasts listenable anywhere, because I know playing a YouTube video on your phone uses a lot of data. So I don't want to destroy your data plans. So we're working on those, getting them uploaded to actual podcast areas. But for now, it is available on Twitch and on YouTube. So with that, I want to say thanks to Dappur. Thank you so much for joining me today. Give me your time, man. I know you're busy. You're in between scrims while this is being filmed. And I say thanks for joining, man. It's been a blast, and I'm so excited to see you back in the RLCS.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to say goodbye to this podcast. And if you are watching on Twitch, we're going to come back and continue the stream for a little bit. But for YouTube, this is where it ends for you guys. So hopefully you'll join us on twitch.tv/LeafX in the future, or twitter.com/LeafX if you want to find out more about what's going on in my life, Rocket League, and anything going on with the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Rocket League Dojo.